Massive protests broke out today in Kenya as Kenyans took to the street demanding that the government of President Dr. Samuel Ruto stops the health deal which was being discussed between the U.S. Secretary of State and the President of Kenya to enable Kenya become a quarantine center for U.S. citizens who have been exposed to Ebola be quarantined in Kenya before getting into the United States of America. Earlier on Saturday, the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, made it clear that the American government or the Trump administration care for the lives of Americans and cannot risk having an American who has been exposed to Ebola bring the virus to America, even on a quarantine basis, because they cannot guarantee the safety of other American citizens. That is why they reach out to Kenya for Kenya to receive $13.6 million to create a state-of-the-art quarantine center to quarantine American citizens who can only come back to America after declared free from Ebola. This move sparked outrage in Kenya. The Kenyan Medical Doctor Association and the Law Society sued the Kenyan government to court, and the court issued a temporary order suspending the creation of the quarantine center. But Kenyans are still not happy because they say the order from the court is temporary, which can be granted at any point in time. They said Kenya is not a place where a dumping ground for Ebola victims or Ebola carriers, and that the United States of America has the money to evacuate their citizens, or the United States of America should do the quarantine centers inside DRC, or better still, evacuate their citizens to US. And that why is it that Kenyan government will accept such a deal, which they say that the US Secretary of State Marco Rubio has mocked them by stating expressly that the Trump administration care for the lives of its citizens and will not want any of the Ebola virus or any of the Ebola victims, be US citizens, to be admitted on US soil, but rather should be on a third-party country. They consider the Kenyans are angry that it means Marco Rubio consider their country as a place to harbor disease victims, which means that Marco Rubio doesn't care about the lives of Kenyans.